There is Saptagiri Ulaka.
Thank you, Chairman, sir, for allowing me to speak on this very important bill, the Chartered Accountants, the Cost and Works Accountants, and the Company Secretaries Amendment Bill 2021. Sir, I rise to oppose the bill, and just like most of my colleagues, they have already mentioned the main issues. I don't want to repeat the thing, and in light of the time available, this bill changes have been proposed to existing legislations governing the apex institution of chartered accountants, cost accountants, and company secretaries. Sir, I was going through the standing committee report, and on this particular thing, on the proposed constitution of coordinate committee, explicitly it has been mentioned, constituting a coordination committee would amount to not only including the autonomy of the institute, but it may also hamper the decision-making authority of the council of the respective institute, which is evident from the functions proposed to be assigned to this committee under subsection 4. A coordination committee of all three institutes is already in place as a non-standing committee of the institute under section 17. This may be made a standing committee, and its term of reference should be to discuss and resolve common issues like multidisciplinary partnership. So this is the basic thing on the coordination committee. And now the revised coordination committee, it has a secretary who is heading the committee. I think this is an attack on autonomy, and I was hearing my esteemed colleagues from the treasury benches. They've been mentioning that this bill has been brought in so that more autonomy could be given. But we have seen what happened in medical council. They will do the same in bar council, the dental council, each and every institution they're trying to attack. At the same time, they have the guts to say that we are giving you more autonomy. This is a joke on all of us. And sir, chartered accountant, I'll tell you a story about when we were in college. One of my friends was a topper in my batch. Accepting him, we all decided to get into engineering or medical profession. But that guy, he went into BCom and then he got into chartered account. So this institute, through their legacy and history, is a very, very renowned institute, nothing less than the IIMs or IITs. We don't need an IIA. The thing is, they have around 7.5 lakh students and 3.5 lakh members as of now, the ICAI. And what we are doing now is we are trying to dilute it just because our Honorable Prime Minister, he made a speech that your signature is more important than my signature. And what does this parliament have to do? They have to bring a bill where they say we'll give you autonomy, but they will take away your autonomy. Some main issues have been the striking of the names of defaults of the CA firms. This has been flagged. Approvals of names of CA firms registered with the institute. And when we talk about the Satyam story, sir, I was working with an IT company, Infosys. And when Satyam happened, the owner, he said, I'm riding on a tiger without knowing when to jump up. But I don't think it's a problem of the chartered accountant or the disciplinary committee or the standing committee. It's mainly because of the intentions of the director or the owner who forced these guys to get into this kind of book mismanagement and so on. So that is the main issue. We should try how we can more streamline this process, give them more power and everything. I'll come to the Board of Discipline. There again, from the standing committee meeting, the Board of Discipline, what has been requested to the standing committee, the unprecedented provisions of appointing 2 non-CAs as members out of 3 members in the board may have a large-scale impact on the work of CAs would be majorly judged by non-CAs. So now what we are doing, what for the medical council, you will have an engineer who will be the head of the medical council. Similarly, you're doing for the CA, which is a major concern for them. And there are 2 basic things. I don't want to take much of a time. The dilution of powers of the chartered accountant profession. The Institute of Chartered Accountants of IC has raised concern of the proposal to have non-chartered accountants, which I have mentioned as the presiding officer of the disciplinary committee. At present, the president or vice president of ICA acts as the presiding officer, a practice that the institute wants to continue. The second one is the vague terminology. The Chartered Accountants Act 1949 left the definition of other misconduct open-ended. According to ICIA, the old act allowed reprimanding, imposing fines, and even cancelling registration of members if the former believed that the member's activity brought disrepute to the institute. In the recent past, what has happened, sir, ICAI used this provision to arbitrarily censor the content that some CS posted on the social media. The new bill doesn't address the issue of this whimsical censorship from ICAI. And moreover, sir, when we move to digital technology and the digital world, we should look at multiple ways of how we can enable that digital technology in enabling the CS to perform the work more often. So that direction should be there, rather than giving, introducing the secretary as the coordination committee head won't help us in many ways. There's one last point, sir. Under the Act, in cases of provision or other misconduct, the committee may reprimand or remove the number from the register of the institute, impose a fine up to rupees 5 lakhs. The bill increases the maximum amount of fine to 10 lakhs. I think this amount, I'm not sure what was the calculation methodology. Maybe a fair amount or something has to be discussed. And we should trust our CS. They have been working for the last 75 years with much dedication, and they are also nation builders. So let's give them more autonomy rather than using the jingoism and taking out the autonomy and saying that we are providing autonomy when we are encroaching on their field areas. Thank you so much. And we oppose the bill.
Thank you.